Oh, hello. This is Mound Maker, and this is Anatomy of a Good Run. In this episode, we're taking an in-depth look at yet another core element of a good run in Nightreign: optimized movement. In Nightreign, every second counts. If you can shave 30 to 60 seconds off your moving around time, you may be able to get one more dormant power, or open 3 to 5 more chests, or go get one more upgrade for your flask from a church. This episode is all about helping you do that. Of note, before we get to the testing, I did not use any special abilities to speed things up for these runs. I just used sprinting on a normal character. I also avoided using skips or movement tech. I also cannot guarantee that every route that I show is the absolute fastest. It just was the fastest amongst the 3 to 5 that I tested from each location. Depending on how this video does and if people found it useful, I may do a part 2 or do additional seeds. With that out the way, let's get into it. We're going to start with which cave is the fastest to get in and out of. The Troll Cave takes about 18 seconds to reach the boss if you're going in from here. If you exit out the same way, it'll generally take about 20 seconds to exit. The additional seconds is from additional climbing. If you enter or exit out the other way, it takes about 27 seconds. So if you enter through the wider way and exit out near the Spectral Hawk, it'll take about 45 seconds. And that's not including how long it takes you to kill the troll. The Captain Cave is exactly the same. It takes a total of 45 seconds to get in and out of. This one has a cliffside entrance that takes 19 seconds to get to the Captain from. And keep in mind, that entrance is also worse because of how long it takes to scale the cliff or find the drop down on. I did not factor that into the 19 seconds. The other entrance is easier to get to, but is 26 seconds to boss, and if you're in that area, you should just go to the next cave instead, which is the Pumpkinhead Cave. By far the best cave to get the upgrade from, as far as time is concerned. No matter which entrance you go in through, it takes about 14 seconds to get to the boss, and about 14 seconds to exit, making it a total of 28 seconds. I personally believe Pumpkinhead is also the easiest, as he's just a gimmick enemy. As a bonus, if you're trying to get from this Everjail to this Everjail, or just in that general area, or vice versa, going from that Everjail to this Everjail, this cave is the fastest way to get there. Next up is a brief discussion on Spectral Hawks and when to use them. First, a note on general speed. Spectral Hawks will get you to a location about 50% faster than sprinting. That's dependent on the terrain and the distance you're traveling. The further you're traveling on it, the faster it becomes, to the point it can be around 60% faster if you're going all the way across the map on it. But in general, if one is in your vicinity and you're going in the direction that it's going, it's faster to go a little out of your way to get to it. There is one exception. If the destination is nearby, say one destination away, it'll normally be faster just to run to it. The reason is when you first press the button to when the hawk gets you in the air, it takes about 7 to 9 seconds, and during that period you're barely moving. So, the hawk is good for short medium, or even long distances. But, if your point of interest is only a short distance away, I would only take the hawk if it's directly in your path. And here's a little map display how long it'll take you to get on the hawk to when it ends. Next, we're going to look at the fastest route, going from a site of grace that's next to a starting area to the center of the castle. And just to be clear, I'm not telling you to go to the center castle after the starting camp. It's just that these bonfires are spread out pretty evenly. And when you learn the fastest routes from these graces, it will help you greatly understand the fastest way out of most areas. For each site of grace, I tested 3 to 5 different routes to the castle. On average, the one that finished first versus the one that finished second shaved about 7 seconds off the time. Also note, these are ranked based on how close they are to the castle. One is not necessarily better than the other because it's closer to the castle. What's important is to follow the route I show when exiting the area if you're looking to optimize your movement. We're going to start with the fastest time, which is this one. For this one, to get to the center area of the castle, the fastest way is to run in a diagonal line, basically until you run out of room to run. Doing it this way takes about 25 seconds. The next closest site of grace is only 17 seconds from that one. It's this one here directly to the south. And the fastest way I found to get to the center of the castle is to run directly to the site of grace we just covered and then take the same route to the castle as that one. Next up is the starting area here. From this grace, you want to run over to the Spirit Spring and jump as far west as you can go. This will typically land near a ruin or other point of interest. And for the purpose of this, I'm just running straight to the castle entrance, past the enemy, and to the center. This one takes 46 seconds. Also, at 46 seconds, is this one here, which at first glance looks like it should be number 1 or number 2, but while the Spirit Spring does cut down a lot of time when going up a cliff, it barely knocks more than a second off versus running when going in a straight line with no obstructions. The final site of grace that's under a minute from the castle is the northern site of grace. From here, you want to take this jump, which will take you to the next jump. Jump towards that castle, and you'll arrive in 54 seconds total. From here, we're going to head to the western site of grace. To get to the castle the quickest from here, go over this edge and head towards the Spirit Spring. Use the Spirit Spring to jump to here, which puts you in position to take a straight shot to the castle. This one takes about 60 seconds in total. Now we're going to head all the way over to the complete opposite end. When starting over here, there's nothing flashy to do. You just run west until you hit the castle, and it takes about 62 seconds. Now, let's head over to the top left of the map. The fastest is this route here. It reaches the center castle about 10 seconds faster than any other route I tested. However, if you go the route that I see everybody take, you go past a field boss, and you get a chance at a church if one spawned there. So I guess it comes down to if you have any interest in other things in the area, or just want to get to the castle. And finally, we have the grace that's furthest from the castle. I found 2 routes that take about the same amount of time. Both come in at about 68 seconds. The first is just running along the ledge until you get to the Spirit Spring, and then taking that as close to the castle and continuing from there. And the other is going to be up the Spirit Jump right above where you start, taking that to the Spirit Spring we just used in the first route, and then ending up about the same spot before continuing on. I would say the first is probably preferred, as it doesn't require jumping from Spirit Spring to Spirit Spring, which can sometimes not work out well. And finally, I wanted to try to develop a way to ballpark how far you can get on the map in 10 seconds. So I ran around the map for about 30 minutes. Then I marked where I was on the map every 10 seconds. Then I combined all these markings together and averaged them. This is on average what 10 seconds of sprinting looks like on the base map. You'll cover a little more distance if on flat terrain or a launching point, but less if having to do any climbing or maneuver around objects or enemies. If you're looking for a visual representation, this bridge is about 12 seconds long. But if you start the timer in the middle of the first statue along the bridge and end in the middle of the final statue along the bridge, it is about 10 seconds exactly. You know what else is about 10 seconds exactly? The end of this video. This is Moundmaker. Until next time, take care.